What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Hope we're all doing really well. We're in the middle of League Tots. I didn't finish my weekend league in time to get the sweaty Mbappe, unfortunately, but I'm not bothered. I mean, I packed Cristiano Ronaldo the other day, so I'm really not concerned about that. Anyway, you're here for formations and tactics, so let's jump straight into it. Guys, this is the squad that I was using for the weekend league just gone. You can see that I've got a couple of new players. So we've evoed Rashford, an amazing card, and I'm sorry guys, and I know it's not going to be to popular opinion. However, this Evo Maguire is insane. Watch the gameplay. Honestly, I'll put clips of him in there as well. He is just everywhere, and he's, you know, one-on-ones, can't be beaten. What a card. What an amazing card that is for free. It was in, yeah, if you haven't done this card, do him. I do highly recommend him. He beats, you know, the Van Dijks. He just beats a lot of these centre-backs out there at this point in time, which is crazy. I was fortunate enough to pack Cristiano Ronaldo, a tradable version. There was none on the market at the time, and he went for his bin. So I managed to buy myself Saka, Son and Fernandes. Now, out of those three players, I would sell Saka in a heartbeat. I'm actually thinking of selling him while he's still quite high in price, because, you know, there's other cards that are better than him. You know, the Alvarez card, the Katoto card, Anthony card, Odegaard, Diana, to name a few, are much better than him. In my opinion. So yeah, I'm still on the fence about Saka, but Son and Bruno, what cards they are. Anyway, I'm going to stop waffling. This isn't a review. This is a custom tactics thread, and we've got the 4-2-1-3. So this plays very much like the 4-3-3 attack. However, the cam and the front three are more closer together. So there's a little bit of a gap between the DMs and the cam, but it works. It works really, really well. Watch the gameplay. I promise you, if you watch the gameplay, you'll understand why I'm rocking this formation at the minute. And yeah, it's, even if I do switch to a 4-3-2-1, which I don't that often, I still go back to this formation because it is so good. And I did a video last week on a 4-3-3-4, and this is slightly better in my opinion, because, like I say, the front four are a lot closer together. So anyway, the tactics for this one. They are balanced 45-66 balanced forward runs. You'll see why if you watch the gameplay. 40 width, 7, 2 and 2. Now, the reason we've gone away from direct passing is because, in my opinion, it was too slow on the build-up. So with this formation, they make natural runs anyway. They make natural runs with the way I've set up the instructions. So I want them to be more, I want them to run more than they normally would, if you know what I mean. I want to smother my opponent, which you can see. I suffocate them in and around their box. They try and break out, they can't break out. And yeah, this one for me, I went 71 points with this one. Absolutely amazing formation. Rank 3. Found it very, I don't want to be too cocky, but I did find it easy. Easier than normal, but there you go. Anyway, watch the gameplay, and then we'll come back and we'll look at the instructions. So these game clips, highlights, etc. are going to be a little bit longer than I normally would. Normally I'd just show the goals and stuff, but I'm going to just show you how this formation works, and basically, you know, how it defends, how it attacks. And yeah, because the game is kind of weirdly broken at the minute and is acting really strange, and your tackling is not working like it should, and they're jumping over the balls, you're giving away unnecessary free kicks and red cards and penalties and all that jazz. It's really difficult to know, you know, like there, for example, it's crazy, you know, that if that happens to me, it's a free kick, and I'm not sure what or why it's happening the way it is at the minute, and I know a few other people have been complaining about it too. Anyway, Maguire, what a card. I said it before, he is an amazing card. He's everywhere he needs to be, and he's quick as well for a good card. But yeah, I mean, we'll get the ball rolling 1-0 with this formation, and we are using forward runs. It doesn't mean that they're constantly running forward. You still have to trigger your runs. However, you will notice in a few gameplay clips, players don't move at all, and that's what I'm talking about, the game being a little bit broken at the minute. They don't move. You end up having to go backwards to get them to move forwards, and it's really frustrating that, you know, the game, there's no consistency in the game at the minute. Usually you can play a few games and you'll get a little bit of consistency where the formations and the tactics are always where they should be, but it's not happening at the minute. And yeah, we go 2-0 up and we get a quitter. That's absolutely fine, you know. Don't mind if people quit, especially against a solid formation like this. But you can see it defends in a 4-3-3. What I mean is it starts off as a 4-3-3, and then it defends in a 4-4-1-1, but then it attacks in a 4-2-1-3. So there's quite a good variation. You can see what I mean about smothering the box. You know, we've got 5 players there. He can't pass the ball out. My players are where he wants to pass the ball, and it makes it really frustrating. Which is why, you know, the first 5 or 6 games, I went 1 or 2 up, even 3-0 up, and people were just quitting because they can't play. It's such a frustrating formation to play against. But I'm not here to be toxic. I'm not here to make people quit or anything like that. I'm purely trying to get formations and tactics out there to get us those little extra wins that we want, you know, for slightly better rewards and things like that. And that's ultimately what we all want, especially when we can't go 20-0 every single week. I haven't been 20-0 now for a little while. I've been close. I've been like 17-3. But I mean, I think my son, who's a much better player than what I am, he's even struggled a little bit recently to get the 19, the 20-0 and stuff. So, but anyway, this is what I'm talking about here. You kind of, nobody was really moving, nobody was really coming to the ball, even when I was calling for them to come to the ball. So I just tried to play it around at the back, and then that pass went astray. But then when you get the late runner in the box like this, that's so satisfying to get that late runner, because it takes a bit of pressure off your front three. You know, you're not relying on passing it out wide or anything like that. So that's really good. And you can see here the defending situation, you know, everybody's running in unison to get the ball back. And again, you have passing options. You know, whether your style of play is tiki-taka, whether it's ping-pong, whether it's, you know, dribbling, you know, this formation allows for all of that. And you can see, although, you know, he does get the ball past my defence, Maguire straight there puts his butt in the way. So that card, honestly, if you've still got the option to do him, I can't recommend him enough. And again, you get the wide play, you get the narrow play, you get the fast build up, you know, and you can see here, this is when the forward runs actually work. Everybody's running towards the box. I will show some examples of it not working, and then you have to go backwards, which is a bit unfortunate. But like I said, the game isn't great at the minute. But yeah, it is what it is. Nice goal by Rashford. That Evo card's pretty good as well. Again, if you haven't done Rashford, highly recommend him. But you can see here, we kind of losing our way a little bit. Everybody's not where they should be. But again, Maguire kind of saves my arse. You know, we're losing as well, 2-1, which isn't great. But we get that late run from the cam, and then we get a very fortunate penalty. I don't think that was a penalty. But this game is, I keep repeating myself, this game is so fucked at the minute. Yeah, Vidic, 99 penalties, that's crazy. Didn't even know he had 99 penalties, but, you know. Yep, like my first penalty in about 3 weeks, I think it is. So yeah, 2-2. He does a little bit of crazy skill. Kind of read where he was going. Havertz again is another great card. Son on the wing is another great card as well. Again, we have to kind of go backwards a little bit to go forwards, and then we create the space for Mbappe, and boom, we get the win. What is it, the 85th minute? 3-2. And that's the 91 Mbappe, by the way, guys, and he's still very, very, very usable. And he's relatively cheap at the minute as well. I think he's at his lowest price he's been for a long time. But again, you can see here, if your opponent is using the 4-3-2-1 and they're using their left backs and right backs and get forward, you're going to expose that big time. They are going to be so exposed on those wings, and you could take advantage of it. And this is the bit I'm talking about. You see, we've got the ball with Havertz. Nobody's really running. I had to send Son on a run. He didn't do it naturally, although we've got forward runs. So I had to kind of do a few step overs just to get people to move. But not that I'm complaining because we get the goal from it, but it is a little bit frustrating when you set your team up to play a certain way, and then the AI is like, we're not going to play that way today. We're going to make you work for it. We're going to make it difficult for you. But it was like that throughout this entire game. So I did feel sorry for my opponent because he got absolutely smashed in this game. However, you know, like I said it before, I'm not a toxic player, so I don't act like the fool or anything. But I can imagine he was having issues. He was having some kind of issues with his defending, with his tackling. And unfortunately, yeah, we took advantage of that and we got quite a big win from it. But again, this is the way the game is going. This is, you know, we're almost at the end of FC24 now, so I can't imagine EA pulling their fingers out and fixing anything now. Have they ever fixed it, you know? Don't think they have. So all we can do, guys, is just find these little tactics, these little formations, and try and make it work for our benefit. And again, it's so easy to just jump into that 4-3-2-1 and hope for the best, but again, I'm not into that. You know, I'm not knocking anybody that is into that broken formation, but for me, I like different formations. I like variants. You know what it is? It's for me, it's like scoring goals. Although it's the be all and end all. See, for me, that wasn't even a red card, but it was. But anyway, for me, it's not. Scoring goals is not the be all and end all. For me, the build-up play is the be all and end all, especially when I get a really good build-up play goal. Especially if I work it from back to front, and I go through 3 or 4, 5 different players doing so. That is so satisfying. It's like this here. I'm a man down. I've gone from back to front, through ball, dink, lob goal. That for me is a satisfying goal. That for me is a goal that, yeah, I even comment on myself and say, well, yeah, I enjoyed that goal. If that makes sense. Crazy, I know, but that's just the kind of player that I am in this game. So yeah, 5-1 up, red card, man down. Shouldn't have been a man down, but we are. And again, you can see here, nobody's really making a run apart from the striker who I sent on the run. Nobody's really bombing into the box. You see there's no midfield player in the box there or anything, which is really strange. But let's jump into these tactics. Yeah, so the instructions are slightly different to what I would normally do, so bear with me, guys. Left back and right back, balanced overlap. I want them getting forward as much as possible. Now, the 2 DMs, this is where it gets really interesting. Tight mark, stay back, cover centre on both. Now, what we want to do is we want these 2 players here to drop into the right back and the left back position when they're attacking. So you've still got, yeah, so basically you have 1 man midfield, but you still have your defence, and that's where you can suffocate your opponent. So, and the tight mark means they're just slightly closer to your opponent's strikers, midfielders, you know, and it's very hard for them to turn. In the gameplay clips, you'll notice that my midfield is so tight, so compact. My opponents could very rarely turn me, which is what we want. You know, the cam is just on getting the box for crosses, the striker getting behind, stay forward. Now the 2 wingers come back on defence, stay wide, getting behind, getting the box for crosses. Now the reason we want them on comeback is because they don't naturally do it with their work rates. So because we have the left back and right back on balance, we do need to compromise. But don't get me wrong, the left wing doesn't compensate for the left back and the right wing doesn't compensate for the right back. That's not what it does. It just means that when we defend in a 4-4-1-1 formation. And it's a very tight 4-4-1 formation. It's so tight. Honestly, guys, if you haven't, I suggest you go back to watch the gameplay just to see how this works, and it is insane. Now, I'm going to start doing 2 videos a week opposed to 3 videos a week, because obviously the game is broken. We all know the game is broken. The gameplay's crap. You know, I've had 1 penalty in 3 weeks. I've given away loads of penalties. I can't tackle people at the minute, especially with the tackle button. They just seem to like jump over the top of the ball. You know, I'm finding it really difficult to defend in this game again. So I don't know what's happened, if it's since the last patch or whatever. I've seen a few other YouTubers complaining as well. So the game isn't what it should be, and it is really difficult. So obviously we need an edge, and that edge is formations, that edge is tactics, that edge is instructions. And you know, there's not many more I can do apart from keep changing things when it comes to patches and things like that. So we're on patch number 14 at the minute, so I can go back to basics and change a few things, but it's not going to be drastic. So yeah, I'm just going to go to 2 videos a week, you know, and then we'll go from there. But I will be uploading other videos as well, so please stay tuned for that. I will be doing reviews as we go on as well with the different players that we get. And yeah, so this will go out Monday evening, the next one will go out Friday evening. So if you haven't, please consider subscribing. It's free of charge, doesn't cost a penny. It helps me out, it shows a bit of support, you know. And yeah, let me know what you think to these formations, guys. Let me know if you're using this one or if you've used it before. I've used this quite a few times before, but I've never used the tight mark until recently. The tight mark is a massive game changer for me, which is really cool. So anyway, everybody, take care.